Okay. VerkayRadio.com, certified #1 digital talk radio station in the world. The power of women.
Welcome to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation with Margot Levin. Heard on VerkayRadio.com and worldwide on iHeartRadio. Women reinvented to become entrepreneurs, authors, speakers. Their second act is full of courage, full of how-tos, and inspiration. Now, let's get into the show. Here's your host, Margot Levin.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this another episode on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Today's a very special day. The second gentleman ever to appear on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation is with me. It's Mr. Thomas TJ Loftin. Many of you know this gentleman because he indeed is a global business leader. I'm going to elaborate on that because I'm going to take some space and actually brag on this gentleman. I'm going to let you know exactly why he is here today. Mr. Loftin is a celebrity car builder, he's published author, speaker, and he's really rocking the way we think about our communities, our neighborhoods. And today's conversation is all around the subject of gentrification. His book, Monetizing Gentrification, Building Black Ownership, is what we're talking about today. But as I said, TJ is a global business leader. Now, he is not a consumer. Mr. Loftin manufactures auto parts. Now, I told you that he is a celebrity car builder. This man was a pivotal part of creating the multi-billion-dollar low-riding industry. You've seen his cars on the streets of LA. You've seen them in Japan. His cars are global, everywhere, anywhere in Europe. Straight out of Compton, the movie, Driving While Black. And we don't even know all of the private owners who have his vehicles, but he is an expert on gentrification. I left out real estate and business investments. He trains investors to create wealth and coaches people on how to monetize gentrification and create legacies. And my sisters and brothers, that's what we have to look at. How are we creating legacies? And TJ develops educational programs through his online course, TJ's Wealth Academy. He plants the seeds of entrepreneurship. And let me quote, he's all about creating entrepreneurs, not employees. We're going to get away from that employee mindset. So without further ado, I could go on and on and on. But TJ, welcome to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. And you know what? We are going to jump into this no-fluff conversation of gentrification. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Margot. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I tell you, I will tell on myself in a minute. We met at a Recycling Black Dollars meeting a couple months ago, I think. It's been a while. And I really knew that you had to be on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. But after I read your book, I thought, oh my goodness, this gentleman's been talking about gentrification for over 5 years now. Girl, you got to get up to speed on this thing of gentrification before you even be attempt to have a conversation. So that's what TJ is going to do for all of us today. He's going to get us up to speed on gentrification. And that's the first question. Will you take a moment to just tell us, what is gentrification?
Okay. Gentrification is when a lot of millionaires and billionaires will come into our communities, African-American neighborhoods and brown neighborhoods, and take $400,000 houses going by LA prices and turn around and most times will bulldoze them down and put up a $2 million house.
Mm-hmm.
And then turn around, or we'll come into our communities and we'll buy a 10-unit apartment building where people are paying $800 a month and start evicting everyone, and then remodel them and start renting them for $6,000 a month.
Wow.
That's gentrification. Gentrification is when other people will come into our communities and pay off our politicians and tell them to pull the money out of the school districts because we want to buy that school and tear it down and put a football stadium up. You know, don't fix the potholes, arrest the black men, shoot the black men, because we want to push these people out of this area because it's 5 minutes from the airport or 10 minutes from the beach. We want that area because it's the best weather in the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's gentrification. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z just made a mistake the other day. He said we should gentrify our own neighborhoods. No, we should not gentrify our neighborhoods. We should redevelop our neighborhoods, meaning these old, abandoned, dilapidated buildings or houses, we should go in and tear those down and start building brand new ones. We should go in and start building our own strip malls. That's redevelopment. So we don't want to gentrify our areas. We want to redevelop our areas or develop them.
Now, see, that brings me over to the next question. This is why, when you said that they're coming into our neighborhoods and if you don't own the building, they are evicting people, and the rent is going sky high. You're automatically out of there. This is what the next question is, and why it concerns entrepreneurs, why we need to pay attention. Am I correct when I hear you say they're coming into our neighborhoods and they're buying up properties and we can't afford to stay there in that area? If our business is located there and it's been there for years and years, I don't care if it's home-based or if it's brick and mortar, they come in, they evict everybody or they buy everything up. Where does that leave us as an entrepreneur?
You know, first of all, and I can say this, you know, as a business owner, you should not be, you know, once you made it past that first 3 or 4 years and you're making money now, you should not continue to rent. You should start looking for a building. You do not want to be no seasoned renter as a business owner because anything could happen. You know, they can close you down today, evict you, kick you out, and then open up another business doing the exact same thing as you and steal all your clientele. So you do not want to be a renter as a business owner. So I do get upset when I find business owners that's been renting for decades. That's real troublesome. That's entrepreneurship. But where does that leave us? The people who do not buy their buildings, they're going to be they're going out of business by the hundreds. You know, that train going down Crenshaw Boulevard in California, the things that's going on in DC, Atlanta, it's running our black businesses out of business because a large amount of our business owners do not own the buildings that they're in, and they've been there for years.
Yes.
So we have to start buying. So instead of you trying to buy something that your heart desires or you think that you deserve because your money say you can afford to rent that, you need not to rent that, but you need to buy what your dollar says you can afford. So if you think you can buy you can rent a 2018 building, one of those fancy ones for $6,000 a month, don't rent that. Go buy a little small 2,000 square foot building that your dollar can afford for the same 6,000. If that's the numbers that it's in your neighborhood, buy something versus renting. Get out of this renting what you think is what you want to show off to your friends with, what makes your shop look a lot better. Buy something. I don't care what people think about my business, as long as they come in and accommodate my prices because I'm giving them good deals. Just know that I own this building that I'm in. Yes, it's a little shabby. I'm remodeling it, but give me 4 years from now, I'm gonna tear the whole thing down and put up a big shopping center here. Just like Nipsey Hussle was saying, he was gonna tear down the Marathon and go up 6 stories with it.
You heard it right here. Buy it. Buy that property. And then I'm glad that you brought that up about Nipsey Hussle. I heard you say, and I do believe that now, the Marathon, that whole location has become a tourist area. When we go into our neighborhoods, and especially those of us in LA, and we have properties along those that train area, we bought those, many of us own property over there. What's the word on buy, sell when they approach us? What's the proper way to handle ourselves in that situation?
You have to let them know that you're not done. you know, the standard routine is when they approach you, they're going to tell you, hey, I got a buyer that's ready, a cash buyer that's ready to buy this house. I know you only paid $12,000 in '84. You know what I mean? You're about retirement age, right? Don't you want to go to Jamaica? Don't you want to buy a condo on the beach in Florida somewhere? You know, so they've already ran your history. They know your name. They know what you paid for the house. They know you've been there. They know you had some tax problems. They know you've missed some mortgage payments back in your days. So they're going to say, you know what? It's not worth it. They're going to go against all your weaknesses and try to convince you to leave. But the reality is the money there. Okay, well, this guy's ready to give you $600,000. That's what they're worth. Okay, well, if he wants it that bad, why don't he give me $2 million for it? That's what we should be saying. You want it in a couple of years, this neighborhood is going to be worth $2 million. Look at Venice Beach. You guys gentrified Venice Beach. You guys all moved in, and now the median home price for a 2-bedroom, 1,200 square foot house in Venice Beach is $2 million. So I'll tell you what, bring me an offer for $2 million and I'll take it. Bring me a cash buyer for $2 million and I'll take it. So what? The last house over here sold for $600. Bring me $2 million and I'll take it. Other than that, I'm going to keep the house and I'm going to tear it down and I'm going to build my dream home here since my house is paid off. Everybody wants a bigger, brand new house. That's the prime reason why people will sell their houses and move away to the Atlantas or the Phillies or the North Carolinas going back home because they want something bigger and something brand new. So why not take your 1912 built house here in Los Angeles and tear it down to the ground and turn around and go up 3 stories like they're doing now? That's what you're going to, just like if you drive through Venice Beach, California, you're going to see no black people there unless they're celebrities, athletes or something, singers. And you're going to see that all the houses that were small, 2-bedroom, 1-story houses, they're all being torn down and putting up 3-story homes throughout the whole area. They're tearing down 800, 1,200 square foot houses, building 6,000 square foot houses. So if that's what your heart really desires, you have enough money and equity in your property plus some extras. So tear down that house that's worth $600,000. It's paid off. Put $400,000 into a brand new one and build your dream 4,500 square foot house with a guest apartment in the backyard for your children, you know, that you want out of the house or somewhere that's having a hard time. Build a whole nother unit in the backyard somewhere, you know, above the garage, laid out that they're happy with, that we can afford to stay here throughout the $2 million and the $6 million era that we're headed to. That's what we should be doing.
And that's monetizing gentrification, correct?
Absolutely. And that's the same thing goes with these shopping centers. Tear down your old little raggedy 4,000 square foot duplex commercial building on the main street and go up with it. You know, build a 20,000 square foot underground parking, 4 stories tall building there, you know, where you got 30 different tenants in there now, and earn yourself some generational wealth. Keep it in the family.
That's what it's all about. That's the shift in the mindset. That's how you make money through this gentrification process. You made mention of developing our communities. So that's what it's all about. TJ, you travel the country. I mean, you are back coast to coast, north and south. Your book, Monetizing Gentrification, you're signing copies, you're speaking. You really are informing all of us. You're on the road all the time, aren't you, sir?
Absolutely.
On the road all the time.
I'll be leaving here next month. Actually this month on the 22nd, I'll be off to Atlanta, New Orleans. I'll be at the Community Book Center in New Orleans, Louisiana, doing a presentation, book signing, and a Q&A. And then June 7th, I'll be in I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia at the Shrine of the Black Madonna giving a presentation, book signing, you know, and then I'll be at Tuskegee Road Reality on the 9th. So I'll be on the East Coast shortly. But I got some events coming up in California, about 2 to 3 more here.
Okay.
And I'll be at the Pomona and African American Museum of New Beginnings this Saturday at 2 to 5 p.m. And then I got a big one coming up at Carras Unity May 18th. May 18th, I'll be at Carras Unity. I'm bringing out film animator Leo Sullivan, He was the guy that did the Fat Albert and the Gang animation. Yes. He also was the one who did Soul Train, the Soul Train on Soul Train.
Uh-huh.
That would I have Queen Amina. She just recently opened up her third clothing store in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Wow.
I got some heavyweights coming out.
Yeah.
Derek, brother Derek gonna come out. I got some heavyweights coming out because the problem is most of us don't know that Black people have successful businesses. We don't know that we have Black millionaires that are sitting right next to us, and these people own a lot of stuff, been in business for years. So I said, I'm gonna pull together some of these amazing people I meet all over the country and let's have an intimate conversation about it. How is gentrification affecting you? How are you making money? How did you make your success? How did you start your business? Let's talk about this.
Yes.
So it can become real. We want people to know, hey, he was just like you. She was just like you. She's not leaving here jumping in a Bentley or Rolls Royce. She's going out there jumping in a Honda.
Mm-hmm.
Regular person, but they're doing very well for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, that brings me on around to you. I mean, you've been into some businesses real estate, and with the low riding and manufacturing the auto parts, all of that stuff, the land development. I hear you speak about our neighborhoods and how, it's as though you eat, sleep, and breathe development. How do I want to put this? You travel the globe, you travel the nation, and expose us all to what's going on. How do we really, and you're bringing great people together, though they've been there, done that, they're still doing that. How do we really reach our communities so that what's going on sinks in? And we're not run over by that train that's going down Crenshaw. We really are able to see, understand, and monetize from this thing of gentrification. What's the one mindset that has to change? Is it the way that we look at education? Is it the way we look at work? What do you see, TJ, has to change?
Everything. We have to change the way we look at education. We have to change our attitudes. We have a problem with people in our own community who, when they hear the word gentrification, they shy away.
Mm-hmm.
They think, as you'll always find homeowners or property owners who have properties for rent, when they hear the word gentrification, that means this is a person without any money that wants the rent to stay the same. So they get offended when you bring up the word gentrification, but the reality is that's not what they're talking about. So people with money call it, people without money call it gentrification. People with money call it redevelopment.
Redevelopment.
In order for us to understand what's going on, we have to understand that gentrification is a weapon. It's a weapon to wipe out Black communities all around the world. So what do? We're not going to sit back and cry about it, because we know they're going to do it no matter how much protesting, no matter how much fighting we do, how much arguing, crying. They're going to keep the train coming. So what do? We have to monetize this situation, get in and make some money off of it. Like what? So that means we got to stop selling our properties. We got to better learn what gentrification means and how to make money off of it. So instead of us sending 100% of our children off to college to get a degree in just whatever it is, as long as it comes from Howard University, or as long as you have a degree, we have to get very specific with what we send our children off to school for. Are you going to be able to come home and purchase a $800,000 house in this community? If not, you don't need to be taking that. So what are the things that you can take that will make it to where you can afford to purchase an $800,000 house, $1 million house? What trades, what careers is that? Okay, well, being a land developer is one of them. So where do you learn about land development? You could take a course from TJ, or you can even go to Home Depot and take some free classes on how to lay tile, how to put granite countertops down, how to hang a TV on the wall. You know, I got some of my best knowledge from going to hang out at Home Depot and asking those people questions. How do I put water sprinklers in? So if you take that same money and put your children into a real estate training class of mine, you know, I'm not saying the same thing. I would love for you to give me $100,000 to $300,000 for my knowledge, but I'm a lot more affordable than that. You know? So if you turn around and say, give me $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever the package that I have at the time, I will guarantee you your child will become a millionaire. And it's easy to say, seeing that homes are starting off at almost $1 million in LA.
Yeah.
That would be stupid for me to say he wouldn't be a millionaire when one house is almost $1 million. So by the time he built 2 houses, they're going to be a multimillionaire. So I can tell you what you've done. So instead of trying to make everybody become a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, which we need doctors and lawyers, but instead of us trying to find jobs with our doctor's degree, we need to turn around and come home and start partnering up within our own communities and asking the local, hey, Simply Wholesome, do you have a back office space that I can run my practice out of? Can we partner up at such and such? You have a back office space. Can I use that that building next door that you own and start my own dentist practice right here in the neighborhood? Because African-American people got teeth too, and we definitely got some of the African-American people got problems where they need to turn these in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to stop trying to go get jobs. We got to start raising entrepreneurs and less employees. We got enough employees.
Yes.
We got enough of them. We need more entrepreneurs. And why not? Because society is changing and it's raining money right now. They're changing the whole model of employment. When the internet, we're just now catching up to the phase of what happened when the internet came out. When the internet came out, it completely changed the world. And now you got people who no longer want to work and they want to start businesses. So they're going to the stores and they're catching sales at Ross, and then they'll turn around and go buy that stuff for $2 or $3 a piece, and then they'll go home and put it on the internet and sell it for $12 and $15.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Are going junkyard. Going every morning. They get up and they go to every little yard sale, and they'll go home and put that stuff on the internet. And then they're turning around pulling down 6 and 7 figures a year. So now we have a wave of new construction going up where they're building high-rise buildings and they're converting them into workspaces, just like Nipsey, our good brother, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. He created that workspace over there, the Vector 90 or something,
Mm-hmm.
trying to bring his people up to date. And by bringing us, hey, you home-based businesses, we want to get you out of your kitchen and your den or your kitchen table, and we want come on out to the Vector 90 and set up an office space. We'll rent you out a cubicle, we'll rent you an office. We have room for you to grow until we can get you out into a brick and mortar. That's where the world is headed, and that's where white America is. So here's the thing. That's why the housing prices are so expensive, because we have a large amount of white people and Asian people who are opening home-based businesses and are doing drop shipping and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting at home selling things that they never even touched. But realized, they said, you know what, I'm at home, so I guess I can afford to buy me a big giant house, a 4,000 or a 6,000 square foot house, because I'm gonna be running my business from home. So I need a huge office for myself. And I guess since I don't have to have an office space, I got an extra couple of thousand. I might as well add that to some mortgage. So because of so many people operating home-based businesses, society has decided we're going to capitalize off of that, and we're going to raise the prices of homes.
Yes.
We have people who have home-based businesses who are coming in saying, we don't want the 30-year mortgage at $600,000. We'll take the 15 because we're bringing in $15,000 a month. So we're going to pay the house off fast.
Mm-hmm.
So America says, well, we can raise the price of houses then. We got people who are coming up with apps and technology and ideas. I tell people it's not about being so creative to where you just come up with a brand new product. It's about coming up with modifying a product. Like I'm sitting in a chair right now, and once upon a time, this chair just sat still, and that was it. You had to scoot the chair to the left, scoot it to the right, or you would have to push yourself back. Now someone got smart and said, oh, I'm going to take that chair and make it swivel. He became a billionaire. Then someone else came in and said, I'm going to make that same chair where it'll tilt back. He became a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? They didn't invent the chair, but they just updated the chairs.
Modify it the same way you did cars. Modify them. You're looking at the wheels and you say, I can get a 40-inch wheel, and I'm just throwing it on out there, but I've heard you talk about how you're able to modify the cars, and people don't know how you're able to do that. So we see something that's already existing, and we modify that. Correct?
We update it. The world
Update it.
We do. The world wants one too.
Yeah. TJ, how do people get their hands on monetizing gentrification? Because I'm looking at the clock, and we could go on and we could go on and on. But what you've given us today, I want people to chew on that. I want them to chew on this conversation, because the conversation is not going to end with today. But what you've given us, I need for them to go back and listen again and pair it up with your book, Monetizing Gentrification, Building Black Ownership. How do people get their hands on a copy?
They can go to my website at Thomas TJ Loftin, Loftin. Again, Thomas TJ Loftin, Loftin.com, and they can pick up a copy. That should be the first thing that pops up. It'll be $31.95 to your door if you're in America. Inbox me if you're outside of America, and I will send you a shipping price.
Okay. Where do we find you on Facebook?
Oh, I'm on Thomas TJ Loftin at all my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube. And please go on there and click subscribe. And also, I have the book in 12 stores around the country. Carson, California, it's in Juicy Juice. LA, it's in Simply Wholesome, Malik Books, Queen Amina's and Classic One bookstores. Long Beach and Shades of Africa. Corona, California, it's in Shades of Africa. Georgia, it's at Axum Cultures in Atlanta. Also, Book Boutique in Stonecrest, Georgia. The Listening Tree in Decatur, Georgia. The Shrine of the Black Madonna in Atlanta, Georgia. And also, it's in Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana, at the Community Book Center. So if you're in any of those places, you can reach out. And all that information is on my Facebook page also. And if you'd like me to add the book to your store, please reach out to me and I'll add you to my nice card where we are promoting Black businesses. And I did that because too many people ask me, is it on Amazon? No, it's not on Amazon, because Amazon ran 500 Black bookstores out of business when it came out. So I want to stick with the 80 Black bookstores that's still around in here, to where we can have relationships and take our children in and buy 100% Black books and see a Black business owner in position.
See, this is powerful conversation. That's why I say walk close to Thomas TJ Loftin, get his book. When you see him on Facebook, take the time to listen. When you go over to YouTube and devour, drink in everything that he has over there, because this thing, as he said, this thing of gentrification is not going anywhere. So we can't say I'm jumping ahead of the train. What we can do now is monetize gentrification. And if you don't do that, you're just going to get devoured and gobbled up. So I thank you. I thank you a million times for your conversation today. I just want to close out with one final conversation, with one final question, because right here on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation, the conversation is all about reinventing oneself. For the baby boomer that's invested all this time, 26, 27, 30, 35, 40 years in corporate, they're coming out. Probably got a pension, some Social Security, whatever. This thing of gentrification, what's the best move for the boomer to actually monetize? Or even, do you suggest, hey, we're going over here to Home Depot, learn what we can learn and become entrepreneurs in that same vein? What are your thoughts on that, TJ?
Yes, I think the young people who are coming home from school and they got their fraternities, they got their friendships and things like that, where all these young people come together, they should be buying commercial property together. They should be buying apartment buildings together. You know, if it's me and four of my friends, let's all put our money together and buy a fourplex, and we stay in each unit. Or let's buy a 10 unit building, and we use 4 of them for ourselves, and we rent the other 6 out. You know, so we got to start thinking like that. And if you don't know how to do that, I have training classes and coaching classes where I will teach you this game and have you to help you to understand. I have one-on-one, and also I have some online classes under TJ Wealth Academy where I have like 4 or 5 videos on there currently, but I'll be building that thing out so that all my knowledge will be on the website. So if you decide I don't want my child to go to college, or college alone is not enough, so I'm gonna have him take some of TJ's training classes so he can get the rest of the things that he or she needs to have.
Wow, you heard it right here. Boomers on down to those that are going to college, thinking about college. Get with Thomas TJ Loftin. And this is no joke. This is real conversation. I appreciate the conversation today. We are going to keep it going. You are the second gentleman who's been on this show, and I'm going to have you back because the more we speak on what's going on, the more we'll move people to take that stand, buy that property. Let's get together. So this is Margot Levette, her business, her voice, her conversation. Another great episode. Be sure to go over to my website, Her Business, Her Voice, and get a copy of how I reinvented myself. And wow, Thomas TJ Loftin, you have left me speechless, and that's a good thing. So lest I ramble. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I will see you again next week with a brand new episode. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation with Margot Levette. Since you like what you heard, go over to herbusinesshervoice.com to get a copy of her book. Subscribe to the show and receive updates, free products, and offers. Be sure to let family, friends, and colleagues know about the show. Margot returns next week with a brand new dialogue on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation.
Okay. VerKRadio.com, certified #1 digital talk radio station in the world. The power of women.